Tonight, for the first time since he was forced out of the job he held for more than 50 years, we hear from the man who led the Knox County Juvenile Detention Center that bears his name.
Richard Bean says he's never faced a bad review and he's unhappy with the way he was pushed out of his longtime position. He talked with 10 News anchor Brittany Bailey about that abrupt retirement and the political fallout. Brittany?
Well, John and Robin, it's not just Richard Bean who's upset with the abrupt overhaul of leadership at the Bean Center. Former board member Billy Stokes is angry too, and he fired off a letter to Mayor Glenn Jacobs, passing it around to other top county leaders as well.
If you want to make these changes, fine. It didn't have to be a circus.
That's just part of the frustration that poured out in this 4-page letter to Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs. Billy Stokes used to serve on the board of trustees for the Richard L. Bean Juvenile Service Center. But when the mayor pushed out the center's namesake, he lost his position too.
I think he overreacted, and I think it was a rush of judgment. I think there was a whole lot of things could have been done. This could have been handled quietly. The county law director, anybody could have investigated these allegations further.
Those allegations about medication mismanagement at the center came from IT employee Thomas Cordell, who was first hired back in 2021 as a probation officer, and nurse Stephanie Clowers, who worked at the center from 2020 to 2022, resigned and then was hired back last year with a $20,000 raise from about $50,000 to $71,000. The two talked to us about the concerns they raised and the formal complaints they say unfairly cost them their jobs.
Steps that should be taken for the kids' safety have not been taken.
It's a control issue in the sense that if they can control the narrative, it's like it never happened.
There are lots of missing medications, like I would say probably weekly, and nothing's ever done.
I have no confidence that these issues will be addressed with the center's current leadership or the governing board that oversees the Bean Juvenile Detention Center.
Richard Bean admits he fired the two employees because they were sharing information with outside agencies, and that admission puts the county at risk of a legal challenge for firing whistleblowers.
It said there's going to be a lawsuit if I didn't rehire these people, so I was a bigwig sitting there. I said, okay, I'll sign it.
But both Bean and Stokes say there were other reasons for terminating those two employees. While Cordell's notice shows he resigned, the notice for Clowers lists a number of reasons for her firing. It cites insubordination, trying to get a coworker's nursing license pulled, having a male detainee in the exam room without a male officer present, giving files to investigators with the comptroller's office, and setting up an unauthorized link to communicate with the Department of Children's Services and the Public Defender's Office.
Any organization that found an employee with secret links to other outside agencies would probably terminate that employee.
I probably wouldn't have done it that way if I'd even thought about it, but I didn't know any other way to do it.
The fallout from those firings led to those employees being offered their jobs back, but also to the creation of a new board made up solely of county commissioners and the hiring of a new interim superintendent.
I'm a little concerned about the way it's been handled from my perspective as a potential defendant. And I don't want anybody to pay any money. I don't want 1 cent of taxpayer dollars going to anybody because I did something wrong in this situation. Because I didn't. I'm willing to go to court. I'm willing to let the finder of fact determine if we did something wrong.
Another factor at play here is Richard Bean's age, 2 decades beyond typical retirement.
You and your second in charge, you're 85 and 81. Are you too old to run that facility?
I didn't think so. I was trying to make it till I was 86, I guess, next year. So they jumped the gun on me, and I didn't see it coming, so it kind of hurt my feelings the way they went about it.
Stokes points out in his letter that, to date, no child being held at the center has died or been seriously injured. And in 5 decades, there's been only 1 lawsuit.
What do you hope people remember?
Fair, that I was fair.
For reaction to this story, we did reach out to several people tied to the juvenile jail. We got this statement from the office of Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs. We are focused on making the facility the best that it can be and taking the best possible care of the kids in our custody. We did not hear back from juvenile judge Tim Irwin, but he has agreed to an interview later this month on our political and public affairs program Inside Tennessee. We did also hear from the law director's office that both Stephanie Clowers and Thomas Cordell have accepted back their jobs. Now, they're both on paid leave for up to 90 days, but can return to work at any time. The governor's office referred us to the Department of Children's Services, and we've yet to hear back from DCS. One new change we should mention, though, at the detention center is that a rotating team of nurses from the Knox County Health Department is now helping with the medical care of those children. John and Robin.
Brittany, thank you for that report. And you can see the extended interview with Richard Bean and Billy Stokes on our streaming site, WBIR Plus, which you can download on your TV and watch for free.